The past is another country, and people have lived in a million different ways that are not like ours. And actually ours, we don't really recognize it anymore. Ours in America is very rare. It's very rare to live the way that we do. And in order to really get the wisdom that the past has to offer, you have to think your way into the why of people's motivations and how they were looking at the world. And so it's important to understand that, monarchy was not a bad word. I mean, tyranny had become a bad word. And the Greeks, of course, were famous for having, the Athenians really, were famous for having made the case spectacularly for democracy and for, obedience to the law. And that is a good thing. But there are, and this is one of the reasons that we're bad at arguing against tyranny in this country, is we've forgotten that there are actually benefits to monarchy. Monarchy has a lot of benefits, and stability, if you have a monarch who is really in control, stability is one of the benefits. And I think the Romans were starved for stability at this point. And there's a lot to be said in this moment for the Augustan peace, it's called, right? The peace of Augustus. And this idea that a competent and Clement, he was very good at representing himself as kind of merciful by comparison to people like Sulla, right? That he was not going to bring fire and sword because he knew that was an unstable way of governing, but instead he was going to be clement to his enemies. And of course, this was in some respect propaganda because he had an iron fist on the state. But there was the Roman people were at a point where leadership by an emperor made a lot of sense and was good for a lot of people, as in the sense of they probably, the people that were on the right side flourished and art flourished. This is another thing that is really hard for us to grapple with because we have to acknowledge the temptations that monarchy and rulership by one person offers in order to argue against it, right? Because what we argue, we who love freedom, right? We who wish to be self-governed are arguing not that we will always have the most money if we're free or the most, opulent society if we're free. That's not our case for freedom. It's not always true. Monarchy can be very efficient and can be very generative of wealth, and it can foster a lot of art, as we're about to discuss. Our argument is that freedom is better, that we would rather have a scrappy, free republic than we would have a sprawling imperial, dictatorship, essentially. And we have to remember that when we're arguing for freedom, when we're fighting for freedom. It may become very important in the years to come.